Hello, beautiful moms. My name is Sharice Walker, and I am beyond thrilled to welcome you to the Unbreakable Mompreneurs podcast. This is a place where we come together to learn, grow, and inspire one another. I am so excited to share my personal journey with you, as well as the personal journey of others, and to show you that anything is possible if you set your heart and mind to it. We are all Unbreakable Mompreneurs, and we are in this together. Welcome, everyone, to the latest episode. I am here with Mandy Monson. And Mandy, why don't you just take a minute and tell us about yourself?
Sure. So my name's Mandy Monson, and I'm located in Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm located in the Good Life, the state of Nebraska. And I am an entrepreneur. I own and operate my own real estate business with my business partner. We have a company called Store 365, where we operate self-storage in the Midwest. And then I also have a brand that I'm growing in regards to empowering women for the Girls Club is what it's called. And it's helping women determine their own destiny in the realm of career and wealth. So I'm also very passionate about that, and which is why I'm super excited to, meet you and be on your program. I also am the single mother of 3 beautiful children. My son is a senior, my oldest daughter is a sophomore, and then I have a 6th grader. So we have a very busy household, but we stay active, and it's just a lot of fun watching the kids grow up and, achieve their successes as well.
That is fantastic. So what inspired you to start your own business while being a mom? Because that's tough.
It is, yeah. So I'm new to the world of entrepreneurship. I mean, majority of my working life, I've been in some type of W-2 position. I've always been in the realm of financial, but about 3 years ago, I had a burning desire to build and create, and I wanted to build and create something that I had control of. It kind of goes back to actually what I talk about in For the Girls Club is I had a desire to determine my own destiny in the realm of career and wealth. And my W-2 experiences that I've had in my historical working career have been wonderful. But 3 years ago, it was like taking that next step. And so the other part that helped is my kids were a little bit older. I'm out of the phase where I'm literally keeping someone alive from not choking on something, not drowning, not falling off of something. And so it just really was the right time frame for me as far as my own personal development and where I was really wanting to go from a career standpoint, and then also where I was at in my family life.
Okay, great. So you mentioned the word burning desire, and with that, some people call it the calling. So
Yeah.
expand on your burning desire. What happened?
Oh, I love that's such a good question. So in 2020, I've been seeking for a long time in regards to I am a person who is a high achiever. I'm a competitor. I'm a person that is constantly looking to improve whatever I'm doing. And so in 2020, I was at that point again where I just knew something had to change. I wasn't experiencing the life that I wanted to fully experience. I wasn't getting to where I wanted to go. And so I was at that space where I was seeking and also awakening to things that I wanted to try. So, for example, I joined a community called Soul Society, which was founded by Dr. Aaron Fall Haskell, and that has a spiritual component to it, but also a business component to it. And so I went through leadership and coaching and practitioner. And at the same time, I also found a community, which is the 10X community. Grant Cardone runs that community. He's a huge real estate owner in multifamily. and then also just following, other people, but really kind of digging into my own desire to learn and grow through Soul Society. And through that, I've also always been, I would say, an entrepreneur. So in my own W-2 positions, I'm kind of an entrepreneur, meaning my history of career has been I take, say, a territory that's zero and grow it, or I take a deal portfolio that's zero and grow it. And so I was kind of at that point in my career where I'd done a lot of growth from 2015 to 2020. And from a personal standpoint and from a career standpoint, I wanted to take something from nothing of my own and grow it. And so I would say those three things really came together for me. And that's really then what propelled me to basically open my own LLC that then led to, 7 LLCs. It just kind of snowballs once you start down a path, and once you start doing that, one next thing to then take you to where your goals are, your targets are, etc.
It's so funny that you said that, because you start with one LLC, and now, you have like 30. How many websites do you have? Like that you reserved?
So okay, so I used to have my own website, but it's down right now because
Right.
I'm looking at revamping it, because I'm really I'll say I'm kind of coming out of the closet in a way, right? I think it's when you are doing all of the things, right? When you have a corporate or you have a W-2 job or a corporate job, and then you're also, listen, there's a lot of people that are doing this, right? They
Right.
have the day job,
Yeah.
and then they go do their nighttime job. Oh, that's right. In addition to raising children.
Yeah.
And I have a French bulldog. But so my mandymonson.com website right now is down. So if you search that, that would be down. But we have our www.store365 website that I don't maintain. We pay a vendor, but I do the social media for that. So
your domains, maybe not websites, but domains. Have you
yeah,
received?
domain. Oh, how many domains? I don't know. We have different domains, but
Yep.
no, it's just a lot of, again, I think some people are programmed for this
Yeah.
and some people are not.
Right.
And you are, right? I am. And so to me it's a very fun, challenging, frustrating, engaging game to play in regards to um, having different businesses that help me experience the life that I want to experience and create the life that I want to create.
So why did you move? Because let's be honest,
Yeah.
I was a single mom for a while and running colleges. And for me to go and run that college, even though I had hundreds of students, like hundreds of employees, to me, it was a lot less stressful than coming home and having to balance that. So, you went from a W-2 job to now running your own business and having to stay, you're a single mom taking care of your kids. And so how do you balance the demands of motherhood and your your entrepreneurial business?
Well, you don't balance it. I
Okay.
mean, like,
Yeah.
I am like one of those people that, like, I think this whole notion of honestly putting pressure on yourself to have a balanced life, like that's, balance for me is different than balance for you, which is different for balance for my best friend Sandy and
Mhm.
my other girlfriends. Like, but I've never felt more balanced in my life, meaning I'm totally engaged and I'm totally, I mean, in love is what's coming to mind right now, but I really enjoy everything that I'm doing. It's hard as F. Like
Mhm.
it's there's a lot of intensity to raising great kids, and I have great kids. I love my kids. My
Mhm.
kids are the most important human beings to me in the world, but it takes a lot of work to raise great kids because there's so much that's going on in the world. There are so many different opinions and media and promotions that your kids are receiving. So like to be able to engage with your children, but yet also have appropriate boundaries and really talk with them about, the information that they're taking in, and then support them in their activities. So my son's really active in the computer science, STEM, and esports world. My middle child's very active in competitive volleyball and plays club volleyball, and I'm the assistant coach for that team. And then my youngest daughter is a competitive dancer. And all of those they don't do the same activities. My middle child used to also dance, but they don't do the same activities, but they're all very competitive in those activities, and they all want to be successful in terms of when they go out and compete, they want to win. So, I just think it goes back to, and then also in my businesses, right? I want to win in my businesses. I want to provide great service to my tenants that are renting from us at Store 365. I want to, we want to pick up the phone fast, and we want to get the rentals done, and we want to be able to get financials out to our investing partners that are with us. What it really does is it takes, I think, intention to be organized. And in Soul Society, we talk about this, where organization is the first principle of heaven. And when you think about organization, right, we call businesses organizations, right? If you think of your family like a business, it's really about, I think, organizing from the standpoint of planning. And I'll be honest, like I've really leveled up from that standpoint since 2020, and since I've been really working on my own personal growth. Because when you have these different targets that you're looking to achieve, whether it be the size of the storage portfolio that we want to grow to, or my son getting into a competitive college or university computer science program because he's a senior and he'll be going off to college next year. It takes planning, it takes thought, it takes targets for you to strive for. And then as you're striving for that, it's really kind of keeping yourself engaged and on track through repetition, to then eventually achieve whatever that outcome is that you're looking to achieve, if that makes sense.
So you mentioned targets.
Yeah.
Obviously 10x Grant Cardone's huge in targets. You have to have a target. And so do you have targets with your children as well? Obviously, I'm sure you do with your business, but you said that your kids are very competitive. Do you have targets with them to help them be the good kids that you talk about?
Yeah, I don't necessarily have like, so I was, so I take in a lot of information via podcasts, via motivational reels, stuff like that. I don't remember what podcast this came from, but this one gentleman was talking about, it's not that, I mean, yes, we like to win and we like to go to competitions and win, but it's not so much a target of winning. Like for me, when I think about having targets for myself with my children, it's about engagement. Like, okay, in my goals that I have for my children, it's really revolving around relationship and being intentional about that relationship. And I have 3 children, and even though my ex-husband and I created 3 kids, they're very similar, but yet they all have very distinct and different things that they're interested in, that their personality is. And so really, when I think about my targets for my kids, it's usually centered around the amount of time that I'm able to engage with them, and what are the kinds of things that I want to work on in regards to what that engagement looks like with each child, because each child also receives me differently. And so there are things that I'm, targeting and working on with my youngest child that are different from my oldest child, that are different from my middle child. And so yes, I do have those. I do have those things, and I literally, write them down. I mean, really, my biggest target for my children is that they are, people that when they leave my household, they can be productive adults that feel fulfilled in their life, and that have the principles and values that they know for them, that they believe in for them, and that helps them to, grow outside my household and helps them to be fulfilled in their life based on what their principles, values, and then eventually what their targets are going to be. All I'm doing is programming them in regards to, hey, I want to go do something. How do I get from point A to B? And how do I get there efficiently? And how do I get there ethically? And how do I feel like I'm getting to where I want to go? And that's really what I want to be able to instill in my kids, because I feel like my parents did that for me. My mom and dad were amazing. I appreciate them so much. My dad's gone now, but I want to do for them what my parents did for me, if that makes sense.
So what are some of the routines that you incorporate? Because you're right, we can't balance everything. And so one day it's an entrepreneur, it's different from the next, but what are some of the routines that you make sure that you do before you go to sleep every single night?
Yeah. So I would say my routine isn't as rigid at night, although it's getting to be more rigid. I read at night, and I just read at max 10 pages or a chapter. So, and I'm typically reading something that's personal development. So right now, I'm reading the book Mental Toughness by Andy Frisella. So Andy Frisella created the 75 hard program, which a lot of people think of it as an exercise program. It's not. It's a mental toughness challenge. But I'm reading his new book. I have the Grant Cardone wealth generator book that I'm also reading. But really, probably what that routine looks like is I get pretty much everybody's in bed. Usually I'm putting my youngest to bed, and then literally I let the dog go out to the bathroom, and then Rocket and I, go lay down and I read, and then I go to bed. But really, some of the most helpful things for me as a single mom, and I wish I would have been doing this 10 or 20 years ago, and I'm going to literally show this is my planner. And this is a planner that can fit in my purse. And some people love digital planners. That's fine. That's super cool. But like, this planner has like everything listed in it. And so I write everything down. This is my like kind of overall living planner. And then I just recently got the 10X planner. So this is like my work schedule planner. And so I think what's really important to kind of help single moms, especially, but women that are taking care of children and also trying to dominate, maybe it is their W-2, because there's W-2 jobs that are my W-2 job was very demanding. I was in a production job. And so, and I had to produce for the company. But I think the more programmed you get to writing down your appointments, to writing down your day, to scheduling, the more efficient you get. I don't know why when I was younger, I was just like, well, I'll remember. Like, you won't remember everything. And I think when you really get into the child rearing years, man, you're pulled in so many different directions, especially when you're a single parent that's the provider, that's the caretaker, that's the organizer, because I'm all of those things. I do majority of it. You just can't remember it all. And so if you get into the habit of constantly planning out your day, planning out your week, it just sets you up for success. So for example, last night, I had a CEO meeting with myself, and I went through my week and I scheduled my appointments and I sent emails out that needed to be sent out. And so that when I woke up today, I was, ready to get after it and ready to basically go down my schedule of items that I had put on there.
Okay, good. So how do you integrate your work life and your family life? Or do you?
Oh, they're all they're integrated. Like, my daughter's in the living room. She's home from school today, right? So my office is based out of my house, but it's honestly, my life is just kind of all integrated and woven together. I don't think of having this separate work life and then separate family life. I think actually that's probably a mistake that some people make, and then why they always feel that they're pulled, right, in so many different directions. And I understand that, not everybody can take their children to work. Like, I get that. I've been in that role, but I think in my maturity, when I'm engaged with my children, I try to be engaged as much as possible. When I'm engaged in my work, I'm engaged in my work. And so I think where people get to feel really frustrated and at odds is when they feel like they can't really fully engage with work, they can't really fully engage with kids. And so then there's like this gap of suffering that's constantly there and frustration. And so I've just, again, it kind of goes back to the balance. I've let that go. Like I know what's really important to me. And I'm lucky to be in a position to be able to fully engage and work on those things now. But yeah, I think it's probably like knowing that you have one life, you have a life. And within your wonderful life that you have these different, you know, areas and pieces of your life, but you know, it's your one life, if that makes sense.
And you only have one life and you only have, the minute's gone, the hour's gone. So what do you do? Because it's tough. I know. I was single with 4 kids. What do you do to fill your bucket? Because if your bucket goes empty, then you have nothing else to
Yeah, well, I feel like I'm at that point where like my the bucket is full. Like I'm working on the things I want to work on. I really love working on my businesses and I love working on deals. So for example, we submitted a letter of intent to purchase a property and like that's fun for like I'm in my business working, but that's fun for me. I'm really at a fun stage in my life with my children where um I get to go do activities with them. And again, it's not as much nitty gritty child rearing as it is when they're younger.
Mhm.
I like to work out. That is one morning routine that actually you going back to routines. I work out I mean, it has to be something pretty significant why I can't get to my morning workout. So I work out. I have a Peloton bike. They're great. I don't have to go anywhere to do it, which is nice. But I mean, honestly, really what fills my buckets is getting to do that, but also getting to step away and I would say spend time with really good girlfriends and friends of mine, but people that are like-minded. I mean, I have conversations with people in the, 10X real estate club all the time. Like that fills my bucket for me. My buckets aren't necessarily filled to escape from whatever is going on, but yet I do recognize, and it is important for people to be able to kind of reset and rejuvenate. And sometimes for me, that looks like going to dinner with a friend of mine. Sometimes it means I get on my Peloton bike. Sometimes it means I actually schedule a massage and go, get a massage.
So when you started the entrepreneur, you left, the W-2 and you became an entrepreneur. Did you have some naysayers that basically said that you were making a dumb choice and that, you shouldn't be doing that?
Not yet. I'm really fresh in it though. I mean, I've only been gone from my W-2 for now about 45 days. So, but I've been kind of doing double duty for 3 years, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I don't really have any naysayers yet. However, there are people that know and people that are in my business circle and no one yet has been like, I can't believe you're doing this. Like, what the heck are you doing? I think my transition is a little bit different. I think it also helps that I'm not in a young stage of life, I'm more in a mid stage of life. And so that might help, but there will be someone that'll be like, you're crazy. I can't believe you're doing this. And everybody says that, but I think it's really more myself that not that I don't believe that I can do it, but I mean, it's different. This is a way different deal. This
Yeah,
is way different.
it is.
And so for me, when I kind of maybe get the butterflies in my stomach or holy shit, like what did I do? I really honestly I go to a neutral place in my mind, meaning I just stop thinking. And I think about what is it again, then I grasp onto a target and what is it that I'm trying to experience in my life? Like
Mhm.
what's my life purpose? Why did I make that transition? Why did I make that move? And then that kind of pulls me back to the intentionality to go do that next one thing.
So what is your why?
My why is it really does go back to for the girls club, which is I am determined to generate career and wealth and prosperity and abundance for myself, but for my family. Like I really feel like I have a duty to do that. And that drives me. And that drive has been me in me for a long time. I mean, like I remember when um I was in college and I was like trying to figure out what I wanted to major in. And I grew up in the 90s. And I was like, wearing a business suit looks like that would be cool. So that was like a business suit. But I think it's this drive to demonstrate that you can determine your own life in the realm of career and wealth as a woman. And I love guys. I love men. They're great, but they've had a boys club for
Yeah.
lifetimes, decades, years, thousands of years. And I do feel like what's happening right now is, we really are in an empowerment movement, but a financially empowering movement. Not that it hasn't been there previously, but I really do feel like women like ourselves are coming together and we are addressing and changing the scope of what that looks like, not just for us, but what that's going to look like for all women moving forward, but what it's going to look like for all families moving forward. Like that could be another podcast as far as my thoughts on, uh, you know, being a provider as a woman, not just trying to figure out how to make it work for my 3 kids and I'm a single mom. No, like I'm the provider, like I'm the one, like I'm the one that meets majority of their financial needs and provides the life that they get to have to experience what they want to experience. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it doesn't mean you cannot do it with a man. But there's also the reality is that majority of households in the United States are 2 income households. That's not going to go away. Things are only going to get more expensive. So we have to be able to, I think, have a club for women, but it also starts with programming for girls when they're younger, that you can determine your own life in the realm of career and wealth. And with that said, it doesn't have to be one or the other. I think that's historically what it's been, right? Well, you can either that this or that. No, it's not that. It goes back to, having principles and values when you're younger and having worth in yourself when you're younger, so that when you go and pick a mate as you grow older, you pick the right mate and you pick the right partner. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I wrote a book on that. So amen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the whole premise behind it, is getting healthy with yourself first. And then from there, picking the right mate, because yeah, we won't get into that. That's a whole nother topic.
Again, that's like another podcast, but yeah, so that's super, super important to me. And that's my drive. And it's been there. Again, it's always been there. It's just you get through certain steps where you really awaken to it, and then you know what that drive is. Like when I was in my 20s, I really didn't know what that was. But as I've gotten older and progressed through life and had life experiences, which that's what happens in life. Like you go through life, you experience things, you learn from things, you learn how to do things better, you learn things that you won't do anymore. But I've just, really become, awakened to that. And being okay with that, if that makes sense too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so last question. What kind of legacy do you hope to leave to your children through your work as a mompreneur?
I was literally just thinking about this morning. I mean, really, the legacy that I want to leave for my children is a legacy of grit, of trying to find the word, of just knowing that you can do what you want to do.
Amen.
Like being open to that and not limiting yourself and not putting boundaries around yourself and not putting a label on yourself because someone else did or because society did, in regards to what you can achieve and what you can experience in your life. But the other thing that I want to leave them is, I mean, I want to leave a financial legacy for them. I mean, I would be pleased as punch if I could also no, it will happen because my kids are still in my household. So as I grow my businesses, they're going to see it. And I would love to include them in the fold if they would like to be included in the fold, as they get older and become, working adults themselves. So, I mean, the legacy that I would like to live is not, or leave them is not only, give them the interpersonal skills for them to build whatever they want to build, but also leave them with a good financial base, and actually not leave them with that, create a good financial wealth and health for them and their families, that can progress in generations forward. Because I think my parents did that for me. It was a great start. And, I just want to continue to, provide that to my kids.
Okay. And I said last question, but now that's for your family and the legacy. If somebody's listening to the podcast today, and you just starting out as a mompreneur and 45 days into it, what is one piece of advice that you can give other people that are starting to think about following in your footsteps or have started in terms of being a mompreneur?
Like, just keep going. Like, if you have this burning desire, it's not going to go away. Like, you're either going to stuff it down. That's when people get really unhappy, right? It's when people don't allow themselves to, I guess I would say, scratch the itch. Like, what happened with me is I knew I was not fulfilled with where I was at in life. Like, it wasn't working. Like and I just kept seeking, right? Seek and you shall find, knock, it shall be open, right? So listen, like, we don't know exactly what that end result is going to be. However, if you feel like something has to change, then be open to that. And just keep going. I mean, I don't know how many times I've said to myself, just keep going. Sometimes there's a expletive in there too. But I think especially if you're at that stage where you're a single mom, you're used to just keeping going anyway. Like, you're doing it,
Yeah.
And so you're just leveling up in whatever you want to do. And if you're having that calling to open a business or to create a business, whatever business that may be, there's so many ways that you can do a business in today's world. Just keep going, and just never give up, ever, 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 ever. Like, you will get there. You will get there.
So if someone wanted to reach out to you or get in touch with you, how do they find you?
Yeah, so they can find me on Instagram at For the Girls Club, like the number 4, the Girls Club. That's a great place. I'm also on there for my personal, which is for M Monson, but probably For the Girls Club is the best place to get a hold of me. They can DM me. I do things like take one-on-one coaching clients. That's not really what I'm, promoting, but I also work with women in that respect. But really, in regards to that business and that brand, I want to grow a community for women that are looking to be in a community with driven financial wealth, those types of topics. But also, right, I'm raising 3 kids on my own. I'm trying to figure out how to make it all work, and I want a little inspiration in regards to just keeping going. So that would be wonderful. And then again, my storage business is www.store365.com. We have locations in Ohio and Michigan. And if you have storage needs, we'd love to help you with that as well.
And you also are looking for investors, right?
Yes, absolutely. So we are constantly looking for investors to partner with for our storage portfolio in regards to acquisitions that we're making. So right now, literally this morning, I put in a letter of intent to purchase a property in the Detroit area. It's only 45 minutes away from another site that we have. So yeah, that one should be hopefully getting into the mix within the next week or so. And then we'll be looking for investing partners for that property. And we would love to talk to those that are looking for the asset class of self-storage and looking to get a return on their money.
Okay. Well, great. Thank you for coming on the podcast, Mandy.
Yeah, this is awesome. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes. Okay. Have a great day.
You too.